It's crazy. I'm gonna play this quick clip, and then this is Boomer and Gio basically saying that they did him dirty. The assistant coaches did him dirty. Then I want to come back. I want to get y'all opinion on the firing and an opinion what Boomer and Gio said. Check this out.
I want to explore this shiv spot thing, and if people don't know what we're talking about, a shiv in the back. It's a reference to a man-made or handmade weapon in jail, and then someone will shiv you in the back, and you think maybe the guy was on your side, but he's not on your side, and it's a shiv spot. So you're telling me that you believe that one of the assistant coaches was a snake in the grass, a mole up to Leon Rose, saying that Tom Thibodeau wasn't the man for the job.
Or William Wesley.
So you think that you really think Worldwide Wes is that involved still?
I do, yes.
Wow.
Have you ever looked at the Knicks organizational chart?
Yeah, I mean it's 10 million guys with job titles I don't understand.
Right, exactly.
That's what it is.
Yo, listen. So Jay, let's get it in, man. The Tibbs firing. You're one of the people the day before it happened was calling for his job. What do you think about him getting fired? And what do you think about what Boomer and G was talking about? Do you think he was lined up?
I think sometimes you can reach a little bit. I mean, there's a possibility that there is. I mean, I'm sure that they're really embellishing on it a little bit, to kind of have the conversation and make it fun and funny or whatever the case may be. But as far as him being fired, I did call for his job, but I didn't call for his job. I don't ever want a person to be fired, but change was necessary. And I think that we saw that in that Pacers series. And I kind of spoke about it a little bit on one of my posts to kind of give some light and some guidance to it. But if we look at Tibbs overall, he was 226 and 174 in his overall career with the Knicks in 5 years. He had a well over 500 win percentage, actually 57% win percentage if you really look at the numbers. And he got us over 50 games on the last two seasons. So he did a lot of good for the Knicks. He brought us back to relevancy, all those things. But just like anything else, there's a ceiling. And I think he hit his ceiling. I think he gave all he could give, and he got us to where he could get us to. I don't think that he has the playoff cachet or the playoff experience or the playoff know-how to get us over the next step. He got us 2 games within the Eastern Conference. To the finals. And then that was it. It all fell apart because that style of play has an expiration date. And that expiration date usually is the first round. We got lucky and made it to the second round, past the second round and got into the actual Eastern Conference Finals. But the long and the short of it is at some point we have to figure out what gets us beyond that. And it starts to become a situation where maybe his voice became like Charlie Brown's teachers in fucking wah, wah, wah. Hearing it. Right? You stop hearing the guy after a while. And that's possibly what could have happened. Now, I think that the Knicks front office also recognized that there's a lot of talent out there. And there's opportunities to get the next coach that can take us beyond the first round, beyond the second round, beyond the Eastern Conference Finals and into the finals. And they're in a championship or bust type of a mode right now.
Right now. They said it too. They said, what did Leon Rose say? Where our singular goal is to win the championship. That's why we got this fuck nigga out of here. No, I didn't say it like that.
I mean, that they should have fucking said that because that's what they meant. There's one thing that I saw earlier today, and it kind of swayed my thoughts. And I won't go too far on this. And I know that we're going to revisit this part of it, but there are some coaches that are out there that are available, and then there are some coaches out there that are actually playing for other teams that might have a better fit in New York. And we'll get to that, after we go around the horn. But I think that the Knicks were looking forward and they were looking beyond the Eastern Conference Finals into the future to try to find out what's next, because I don't think they believed in their heart of hearts that we were supposed to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that realistically, everyone kind of thought that maybe first round, would blow Detroit the fuck out of the water. Maybe we'll, bump our heads on the fucking ceiling of the Celtics, and that would be it. And I think that he was going to get clipped no matter how the shit went down. We made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that was like, oh shit, the city went crazy and they were like, damn, now what if it happens if he fucking wins the whole shit? It might have derailed what they were thinking. But the long and the short of it is, Tibbs is out of here, and now we have a new look Knicks at some point. And then, like I said, we'll go around the horn and then we'll start to talk about the replacements.
Bet. Good take. Good take. What up? What up? What you think, Al?
It's about time, man. I mean, it was needed. Like I said, I'm glad that it happened. So we have the whole summer with a new voice. I don't want Tibbs to be the coach in the off season. Give him to the half. Nah, let's get the new voice in there now. Let's get that new culture in the locker room. Hopefully it'll be like some new like a young coach. Like one of those
Johnny
young
Bryant.
coaches,
That's what they're
man.
talking
Like,
about. Yep.
Which guy?
Johnny Bryant.
Bryant. Yeah, I mean they're throwing around a lot. Yo, I heard something as crazy as Chris Paul today. Like people was talking about like player.
Still in the league.
Yeah, they was like maybe Chris
That's some
Paul.
dumb shit.
Maybe Chris Paul will want to coach the Knicks. I'm like, but do
Why
we
not
want
Tesla
fucking
was
Chris
there,
Paul
man?
as a
We'll
Why
run
coach?
not
down the
Tesla's
names
coach
of the potential candidates, but yeah,
Why not,
I'm hearing
why not
everything.
Tesla legitimately sent a tweet saying, I
Yeah,
want
he
to be the
did.
coach?
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about. I heard about
You
Ron.
don't
too.
have everybody
Hey,
punching
Ron,
you know
dudes in the
what?
face.
I want to coach too, guys.
Ron gonna have fucking nature on the bench. Nature and Cormega and shit.
Nah, but
QB affiliates.
They gonna be his assistant
affiliates.
coaches.
Fucking, gonna have a horse
He
with
gonna
the
have-
fucking
he-
defensive coach.
He got horse and fucking infamous Marv and shit. Shit crazy.
yeah, but to keep it short, man. Like I'm glad they did it when they did, and like everyone, we're just waiting to see what's next, man. So
But
fingers
let me ask
crossed,
you
man.
this before
Yeah.
you start: a guy who coach of the year makes the playoffs 4 out of 5 years, pumps life back into a dead franchise, right? Gets to the Eastern Conference Finals. Every year he's been in the playoffs, he's gone further and further. I mean, you don't feel any type of way about that? You don't feel like, at least bit that he was, done dirty, or
No, niggas get clipped every day, B. Nah, but yeah,
You
but
tough,
for
right?
real, that's the nature of the game, man. Like, look at the guy last year. What was the guy this season? Denver's coach. They clipped
Mike
him at
Malone.
the end of the season, and he just took them to the title. What,
And
like
the,
2 years
and-
ago?
2 years ago. Yeah.
and the other
And
dude,
won.
and the Minnesota coach too, right? Didn't he get clipped?
Was it?
No, not
no.
not it was
Not Minnesota.
it was
Minnesota.
Memphis. Sorry, Memphis. Yeah,
Yeah, Memphis.
Yeah, man. That's the nature of the game, man. It comes with it. So you either perform or someone else performs for you. Pause.
Boy, no question about it.
I had to.
I don't know. Was that egregious?
I don't know, but I caught myself if it was.
I like the CYA of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, always
What?
keep it
Can we
going.
get a quick vote?
Nah, come on. That would.
You're good to go.
that's-
I don't think that's crazy.
We'll let him
Yeah,
slide. All right.
Yeah, I don't think that
All right,
deserves a vote.
Clear him on
All
that
right,
one.
Jerry says not guilty. All right, Q. What's goody? What do you think?
Yo, in my professional field, I'm on the business side of things, and I think this was a business decision. I think they set him up to see if he was actually going to make any decisions that were going to actually benefit the Knicks. And with that comes change. Did we see any of that this season? We saw a better offensive team, right? We saw lesser defensive team. So, and with that being said, what do they expect him to do, right? Be a better offensive coach, but teach these guys also how to play defense. He didn't really do either of those things to keep it a buck. He just had a lot of talent just doing playing games. Like, go out there, guys, and we're gonna fucking win. Like let's be completely honest. Because when it came down to the real nitty-gritty of when it came down to the important games in the playoffs, we looked like we didn't really know what it was. And people were out there raging and saying, man, we don't have a bench. Our bench isn't deep enough. Pause. I don't know if that's pause now for you guys or whatever it may be. But how you gonna know what your bench is like if you don't actually see what they're like? Like that's what people need to understand too. And who's at fault for that? That's not Leon Rose. That's not Dolan. That's not Brunson. That's not the assistant coaches. That is the coach. That's Tibbs' fault. Because Kolick and Huck Porty and McBride and, Campaign and Shamit and, all these guys can't just be like, yo, coach, just put me in. Nah, they're on the bench, man. They just they have to get their minutes when they feel like it's their time and know when your team is feeling tired. He just played like a coach and like the Stone Age who just wore them down. And I don't say it's a bad thing because that's why we got the 50 wins. But we also don't know if we would have played the bench more often, we could have probably still had the same result. But when you see somebody still going in the same ways, and yeah, you move a little bit further, but we did actually get better offensively. Man. Let's keep it a buck. I think, and we also had a little bit of luck on our side as well, you know. But with that, you know, and it just kind of sucks. I feel like they didn't do him dirty. I just feel like they set him up to see. They gave him a yearly evaluation, and they told him what his goals needed to be. And homie didn't check any of those boxes. Homie just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just try to get y'all to the finals." And by my own means, and he didn't really do it, you know. And it kind of sucks to see that happen because what, like he's the first one to give us any type of wins in the playoffs
Let
since
me
what,
ask you
Mike
this.
Woodson.
Let me ask you this, and before Rago, you know, Jalen Brunson gives him the ring and endorsement. You know, the kiss of death, actually. You know, what I'm saying in the post game press conference. You know, Jalen Brunson, if he walks into Leon Rose and Worldwide West's office and goes, "You can't fire Tibbs," I don't think Tibbs goes anywhere. You know, we know what happened with Mikal Bridges. He had issues with the playing time. You're hearing a lot of rumblings around the leagues, thinking that a lot of people behind the scenes. It was like a war of there was Tibbs guys in the franchise, and there was pro and anti Tibbs guys within the organization. A lot of people think the assistant coaches, some of the players spoke up against him, behind closed doors. Um, what do you say to if Jalen Brunson wanted him here, you would have him here. So what do you think about that?
I disagree. I think yo, when you think about business, man, there's nobody in one company that can make somebody stay unless you're like probably
Oh,
like
I
fucking
disagree.
LeBron.
This
You
is
know
a
what I mean? Like,
player-driven league.
man, but like, yo, but
Yeah.
let's also understand like where Jalen Brunson also stands. Granted, he's the captain. You know,
I
he's the
think he said
superstar of
clip him.
our team. But look, it
Where
may
do
have
I
been a
side?
better. No, but it may have been a factor. But it's also based on consensus, right? You don't just get rid of the leader of something just because somebody, no matter how important they are, just doesn't like them. But because just think about how many fucking generals will get clipped because
They
one
just
captain
gave
doesn't
him
like the general.
$30 million 6 months ago,
I understand, but this is what I'm saying
right?
because you just kind of said it again. Like, yo, Jalen
That's
Brunson just doesn't
insane.
walk it. Yo, but then Jalen Brunson, you're telling me Jalen
His
Brunson is the
extension
new
ain't even
LeBron
kick in
James?
yet. That's some crazy shit. Think about that.
No,
Sorry to
I
cut
know
you
it's
off.
crazy, and now it's
Yeah,
a lot of money that the Knicks are gonna happen to spend, which is not the first time they did this neither. But
yeah,
they're not.
They paid him to leave.
yeah.
Think about that.
You think
Gotta
Leon?
pay to
Because
get
Leon
inside,
Rhodes used
plus
to be
pay me
his
to
agent.
leave.
Leon
It's
Rhodes
kind of
used to
like
be his agent. You think he just blessed him like, yo, in
it's like a
case you make a
reward.
move?
It's like a reward.
Yeah,
Like thank you for your services,
That's
but
crazy.
we going in a different direction now.
Rob wanted to go last because he said, he's got
Because I
two
want to talk to each and every
two
one of
big
you
guns.
motherfuckers is going to be
take
playing
this shot
ball
for
in
you, Rob.
Pelican
That's what
Bay.
it's showing.
I'm going to start with Cash since Cash is the last one to say
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Brunson could have saved him. Cat.
Hmm.
Brunson is a superstar in this league or an up and coming superstar in this league. He still got to establish what his role is going to be. And unfortunately for that, it would have been established. Let's just say if Tibbs still had his job this year because that solidified like he's the guy. You're gonna bring somebody else in new, and they know what Brunson is. But again, that's gonna have to be Brunson now for the first time in his career as a Knick. Is going to have to reset whatever his role is based off of whatever new guy you bring in. So as far as the Knicks looking at Brunson and saying, "Hey, Brunson, what should we do?" I don't think that was ever on the table for him. It's never even an option because that wasn't the kiss of death. That was a player that defended their coach point blank. Period. That was as pure as you're gonna see it after a playoff game. You saw the frustration, and this is one of the guys out of many of them, I'm sure, that said, I would go to war for that guy. That guy helped us get to where we're at, which means as much as we want to say that Tibbs didn't build his bench and, didn't develop his players, I can understand that, but he developed what he had as far as his starters. He developed that team. Tom Thibodeau is responsible for that, which brings me to Q. It was a business decision. Minutes off the bench, luck, these things, right? Again, I understand that some of the changes that he's made towards the end of the season, because I guess at this point, it's fight or flight at this point. I got to do something to save my ship from sinking. I don't want to get swept 4-1. We got to make it as serious, at least give ourselves a chance. So he plays the long rights and Huck Porties and things of that nature. And the one glaring thing is where I gotta agree with everybody on the panel. How are you gonna bring DeLon Wright in as a playoff piece or moving forward? Let's just say if you start to win with DeLon Wright and these type of pieces coming to the bench when the guy's only played 14 minutes on the season. Can't do that. So that's understandable flaw, right? But Tibbs is known for maximizing, not even known, what we've seen. Tibbs didn't have the same squad for the 5 years that he's been here. He's had a different squad every year. And every year he's had that different squad, he's made the adjustments to maximize what that squad will look like and how far they'll go, right? Which means, yes, we're going to see high minutes per players. And up until the acquisition of maybe like my guy Bridges or a Cat, who he's already played with Cat. Cat already knows about that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's Cat already knows about. Up until the acquisition of these guys, you never heard a complaint out of Josh Hart for being played too many minutes. You never heard a complaint out of Julius Randle about too many minutes. You never heard a complaint out of R.J. Barrett for too many minutes. You never heard of whatever he got. He said, "This is what we're gonna do. This is my scheme."
No, but I don't mean to cut you, but Josh Hart never complained, but he did say a statement talking about the amount of minutes that they were playing. Bro, like that's a way of just complaining.
They never came out publicly because
he did make that statement. Cute is right. He did make that statement. But you know what he also said with that statement, with that same statement, he said, "I'm conditioned to do what my coach needs for my team to get a win." So it was kind of a backhanded complaint to say the least. It was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. If the nigga needs 48 minutes out of me," I watched Josh Hart play a whole game one time last year.
That's just ridiculous.
Me and Primo was like, "This is crazy," but they don't have no. You know why it's crazy? And again, this is where I can't complain.
Don't say they don't have nobody because last year they had a whole bench.
I'm not gonna say they had a bench, but the bench players that they had were not conducive in what the scheme and Tibbs is trying to run to win. I'm winning with this group. Last year? I'm winning with this group. Tibbs ran what he was winning with into the ground. Remember, the Knicks had one of the top 3 records in the league last year, right?
What year are we talking about? We talking about Randall year or
we finished second? Year? No, this is last year.
Last year we finished
second. We like running my team into the ground. I am the second best team in the East.
We ain't never finished second. What are you talking about?
We finished second last year.
We dropped. We got on the injury. We wound up dropping. Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't. The Knicks were number 2 last year. Going into the playoffs. The Knicks were number 2.
No, they weren't. They dropped. That towards the end of the year, they dropped. They caught on the injury.
They were number 2.
They were second?
They were number 2. Like, how could y'all not notice? Like, that was one of the biggest things you said. You was like, yo, these niggas finished second. They're the second best team. They were the only team.
Season?
Yeah, second. No, in the East. In the East.
How can I talk? No, they were the second best team as far as the East goes. It was the Celtics
second best
and then the Knicks.
The that's why.
Yes. It was the second best team.
That's why I was like, nah. Okay, I got you.
So anyway, business decision. I understand the business portion of it, but if we're looking at business again, this wasn't the best business decision to me. And that goes to Q. Now let's talk about my man L. It was about time. Like we don't even know. We don't even know. You just said earlier, again, I hope they get one of these young coaches. Rajon Rondo is one of those young names. Somebody never coached before.
I could fuck with him.
Oh, you could, right? So, let me get you straight.
He could get the half season.
So, time out.
If he don't do good,
you would fuck a Rajon Rondo next year on the Knicks? A guy never coached before?
Time out.
Nah, I ain't signing
up. You fire a guy who's established the Knicks as a winning team, who has a locker room, who for 4 seasons, he just came off the Eastern Conference Finals, and you give somebody who has zero experience with coaching a team that you said,
that's a smack in the face.
No, time out. What did the statement say? What did the statement say?
I retract. Okay,
Jake. No, you can't retract at this point because
no retractions. Oh, your mic cut off, but nah, your mic, nah. But
we waited last for that shit. Like, yo, I wanted to go last for that.
I understand. Can't hear you. I understand.
Yo, we could just make fun of him now. He can't say nothing.
No, but let me hold up. Let me ask y'all this, since we're gonna wait for him to get us.
Sorry about that. I got my mic. My mic is back. No, what I'm saying is, like, all right. So boom, L said he wants a young coach or somebody that give somebody new a shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
The statement said that we fired Tibbs because our team is uber. our main priority is winning a chip
Our
right
singular
now.
focus.
Our
Something was
singular
worded, yeah,
focus is winning a chip right now, which is why we making a decision to move
Yep.
forward. How can that be your focus if you're going to bring somebody in as a coach who has zero experience,
Yeah.
just a bunch of good ideas? That means we're willing to experiment. We're willing to step away from something that we know to try something that we have no idea of. So to me, that eliminates all those young names, but that's what they're going to entertain, right? And then to Jay, you didn't want anyone to be fired. You, just like me, have called for this man's job 1,000 times. You absolutely wanted the man to be fired, right? But you only wanted him to be fired because right now, no lie, there is no other name. And I just want everybody to be honest on the panel, and I'll leave it alone. Just be honest with yourselves. Jay, you only want the guy fired because you want one coach hired. And if it's not that coach, look at his face. Look, if it's not that coach,
Who,
if they
Mike
fire,
Malone?
if it's not Mike Malone, he's gonna say they pretty much hired the same guy. If they bring in freaking Mike Brown, who's a good coach, okay, is Mike Brown gonna take them to the next level? I don't think
Well-
so. I don't think he's gonna take them to the next level.
Let me
It'll be
read
a
off a
different
couple
voice.
of
So
names.
what's the what's the answer?
Hold
then?
on. Let me
It
read.
better
off a
be
couple.
Mike Malone because I agree with Primo. Like, listen, if the only upgrade from Tibbs, honestly, the only upgrade from Tibbs is Mike Malone. But they have not secured that. None of us know if that's secured. So if it doesn't go that way, it's going to be one of these shits where now next season, if it's not Mike Malone, this is what I'll leave it at this. If the next coach of the New York Knicks is not Michael Malone, chain wearing, shades rocking, if it's not Mike Malone, next season, all of us are going to be looking like this at the season. If the season ain't going like how Tibbs had it going, we're going to be sitting there going, oh, man, this is probably a bad idea.
Let me throw some names out. Right, the names that's been circling around.
I
You said Mike.
yeah, but after you do that, I want to speak on what he said though. But yeah, read the
Go
names
ahead,
out.
go ahead. No, get it in now.
Nah, because he
Hey,
because
yo,
he's
all right,
yeah
there we go.
because
That's the
What-
first
what
one
I
of the
say?
day.
What I
that
say?
wasn't me. That
Flag.
wasn't me. That
Flag.
wasn't me.
Flag.
That wasn't
Go
me.
ahead.
That's
What-
that's
what-
hey.
Go ahead.
What I say? What I
What
say?
he say?
That
Yo, Jay, what he
was-
say? Roll it.
He said,
Roll it.
nah, go ahead. Get it in now. Nah, dog.
I want to challenge that, man. That was
That's,
that
you
was
lost,
lukewarm.
man. You lost
You
that
lost that
challenge.
challenge, dog.
That was.
Hold on.
I normally try to play.
I said Swigger Rooney.
Yo, listen.
And nigga-
I'm going. Listen,
Yeah,
y'all
you said
motherfuckers
get
better
it
not
in.
say nothing
You
the rest of
you
this.
said
I'm
get it
pulling
in on a
everything.
panel of 5
my
men.
word.
Hold
All right, I'll cue it
on.
up.
Cue it up, please.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You know, I think, Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Oh my God. Wow. No, that reaction was to my words.
Nah, and
All right,
just
got
this is gonna be short and simple, but like, yo, Rob, like to be honest, like your idea of even if we did keep Tips, what is where is the positive notion of us moving forward by seeing how well he's gonna do, and doesn't do
Okay.
what and doesn't get to the pinnacle or doesn't get to the place, and he's not performing where we need him to do, and then fire him an All-Star
Halfway.
break, and then now we got to get a whole new coach. And Mike Malone is taken, and Johnny Bryant is taken, and now we're just in even a worse case because now we
I
got
don't,
Brian
think,
ain't
I don't
taking.
think so. I don't think so. So boom, one.
no,
What
no,
are
no,
we-
but
what's the-
I'm just saying, but how does that put us in a better place?
I'll tell you how.
If we fire Tibbs in the middle of the season, and then all of a sudden expect to win a chip, or be like, now we're just gonna play with people. I'm like, all right, now you
Here's
got a
my
mid-season
thing.
coach. It's another waste of a season, bro.
No, it's not. So here's my thing. I get what y'all. That was absolutely perfect. So boom. Why did I say Tibbs deserved the grace of at least being able to start the season with team, and if not looking ready to go, they clip him halfway. A, because we don't know who we got next anyway. B, if you start the season with Tibbs, Tibbs now knows that my ass is on the hot seat for starters. That's out the gates. He knows he starts the season as a lame duck coach, which means all the things that he wasn't looking to change, that he saw where it made a difference, he has to start the season this way, not just wait till we get to the playoffs this way. This means I have to go deeper into my bench out the gates. I've got to see I got to see everything else that we got out of this bench for real, starting with the beginning of the season. So he'd have to change his philosophy somewhat. He'd have to listen to some more of the assistant coaches, if the assistant coaches are the ones shivving him in the back, so to speak, right? He would have to start his season on that type of level. Secondly, you're going to get a team. Tibbs is going to inherit a team that feels some type of way immediately, which means we'll probably see the hungriest version of the Knicks with the same squad that we have. We probably even wilder than what the last year was. You're going to see a wilder version. You're going to see Cat doing more stuff that we want Cat to do. You're going to see a super engaged team. This is if Tibbs gets to start. No new philosophy. We're going deep into the bench. Y'all all know why. The elephant in the room says I didn't do X, Y, and Z. I want to address that. I'm gonna hold myself accountable. This is what we're doing. DeLon Wright, I need you. You're gonna now get 10 minutes a game. Campaign, you're gonna get 8 to 10 minutes a game. I'm gonna give you guys these minutes because not only is my job on the line, but if these are the changes and if these are the things we need to do to make our team better, then you evaluate it, right?
Man,
So
all right.
those are two things.
That's
I'm sorry.
a wasted season, bro. Yeah,
It's not a wasted season.
No,
It's not a wasted
You're
season.
making an excellent point. You're making. I think Rob
It's
made an
not a
excellent
wasted
point.
season because guess what? If the Knicks are still playing like that up until that point, you don't even have to fire Tibbs at the middle of the season. You ride it out and see what it is. If it's not looking the way it's supposed to go, then it's no different. It's no different than you starting the season.
If we clip him at halfway through the year, if we clip the guy halfway through the year, who the fuck do we have at that point? Who are we picking up?
Who do we have now?
Stop.
No, but if we clip him halfway through the year, all the potential candidates probably get a job.
Yeah, if we clip him halfway,
then we're going interim at that point.
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna have the same bench.
We got Rick Brunson.
Yo, shout out to Tim, man. Salute, man.
Hey, Rick Brunson is a candidate now. What's going on, Tim? Rick Brunson is a candidate now. Rajon Rondo is a candidate now. Who do we have? Like, my thing is this.
Let's get into that. Let's get into that real quick, right? And that'll we'll tie everything in. Look, I'm gonna throw out some names. Y'all tell me if you what you think. All right, so I'm gonna say Mike Malone. Now, word in the street is they not fucking with Mike Malone. They said they see him as, from what I understand, they view him as Tibbs 2.0. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about Mike? Who Mike Malone? What do y'all think?
That gotta be the guy.
So everyone says yes on Mike Malone?
No.
I don't say yes anymore,
I'm
Mike Malone.
not saying that.
All right.
This morning. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Johnny. Okay,
God,
listen. Hold on.
I was so bugged out, yo.
Hold on. Johnny Bryant, right? He seems like the new mind, the new innovative mind.
Who is he?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. He was an assistant under Tibbs. Listen, he was an assistant under Tibbs, right? World Wide West hired him, a very knowledgeable basketball guy, and World Wide West got his hands in everything in the NBA, right? Went over to Cleveland, an assistant over there. Was up as a finalist in the Suns position. They just actually hired Jordan Ott. Whatchamacallit, I think Jordan Ott's from where? Cleveland? Yeah, Cleveland's one of his assistant coaches. So now he's up for grabs. So supposedly this guy is an innovative guy. He has relationships on the Knicks already. He's an assistant coach under Tibbs and under different organizations as the second skipper. So that it seems like this guy isn't playing. They seem like they like him. He seems like an innovative mind. I know you're laughing, but it's what we hearing.
Nah, I'm trying to read what Rod got up there, man.
Who is he?
So what do you think about Johnny Bryant? No, not enough experience. No good.
I don't want an inexperienced guy. Like,
Thank you,
that's
Jay.
not what-
Thank you,
I don't
buddy.
want to.
You lost me for the saying until just now. Thank you.
I agree too. I want championship experience. I get it. Okay, experienced guy. Here we go. Experienced guy. Mike Brown, former head coach of Cleveland, former head coach of Sacramento. We coached the Lakers for a cup of coffee, right? He's been a couple other places. I think he's worked under Popovich. Popovich is one
Is
of
he
the
better than Tibbs? Is Mike Brown a better coach than Tibbs?
Mike Brown is too soft, bro.
Okay, so the
He's
answer
too
is
soft.
no.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, the answer to that is no.
I say no. Here's one. I don't think he's gonna do it because everyone said he wouldn't do it. But Jay Wright,
Now we're talking.
Brunson,
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't
Villanova
think I want
four.
him, but I'd like to have a conversation.
Jay Wright, you gotta have
yeah.
the conversation, but Jay Wright is not interested
I'd
in
like
taking
to
on an
have a
NBA
conversation.
job.
Yeah,
He's not in the league.
from what we understand, he's not interested in.
He's not leaving
but-
the college program because he's more interested.
Until they flash that check in front of him, he's like, yo.
You don't think
man.
they've already flashed a check
Got
at him?
money
He's got
already.
the
He's
check
already
flashed
got
at him
money.
several times, not just from the Knicks, but
Okay.
other teams have already tried to get
But I need you guys to make it make sense because you just said you don't want a guy. You want a guy with you don't want a guy with no experience, right? What experience does Jay Wright have on a pro level? Less than Johnny Bryant.
Jay Wright has that group.
Jay Wright also has championships, whether it's at the college level or not. He has championship experience. He knows how to win a championship, and he's got the connection with Jalen Brunson, who he won a championship with. That goes a long way.
The pro game
Not
is
just Jalen
different,
Brunson,
bro.
and Jalen
Look,
Brunson, Kyle Bridges, and Josh Hart. He's got those three players.
Tell
under
me
his
a
belt.
successful coach from college to the NBA.
Okay, listen. I don't think Jay Wright is-
Probably
Yo, bro, it's even hard to find one in the NFL.
Calipari. Somewhat,
Calipari, or what was my
somewhat,
man's name from
right?
Duke who did the Olympics? What's my man's name? What's my son's name?
Krzyzewski, but
He didn't coach in. He didn't coach in the
he
NBA.
didn't coach in
though.
the NBA. Yeah, Patino for a
but
second. Patino somewhat
But
successful,
come on,
right?
you say he didn't coach it. You say he didn't coach at NBA level, but he took an NBA league and went into and got gold against the world.
Billy Donovan in Chicago, somewhat successful, right?
Billy Donovan.
There's not a lot of examples.
Billy Donovan went as far as
translated.
what? Billy Donovan what OKC for a while?
Yeah,
or was he with the Sixers?
Now he's with Chicago.
Now he's with Chicago. Again, these guys have gone as far as
I
what the
think you
teams
have
have
to have
taken them.
a conversation with him, right?
None of them have done something that Tibbs hasn't done. I'm sorry, Jay.
Who else were you talking about, Cash? What are the names you